Dilip ji, 7:30. Shall we go?
Namaste everyone. Welcome to our weekly Bhagavad Gita class. And he's going to finish chapter 2nd. So without further delay, I'll invite Dr. T.P. Shashikumarji to proceed with our class. Dr. T.P. ji, floor is for you.
Namaste Dilip ji, World Yoga Community, UNNGO. We had a great day yesterday. Swami Vivekananda's. He was a man who propagated Karma Yoga as efficient yoga. Probably the whole West started liking Bhagavad Gita because of his Karma Yoga added with Raja Yoga. He was a man of both Karma Yoga and Raja Yoga. Karma becomes only sanctified, get into the highest level only when Jnanam becomes strong. Yet Jnani's karma is entirely different from somebody who does a skillful job without having the base of theory behind it. So Jnani who has knowledge, indication of knowledge, not with the certificates. Being wiser and wiser is what is knowledge. If you draw a graph between x-axis, y-axis, knowledge and wisdom, it has to be 45 degrees at least. It has to increase as the knowledge increases. So that is indicated in chapter number 2, Sankhya Yoga, because analysis and logic. Anything when you do, look at logically. The beauty of Bharatiya Shastram, I don't say Hinduism, I don't say Bhagavad Gita, maybe Bhagavan Krishna, maybe all that together is Bharatiya Shastram. In Bharatiya Shastram, it doesn't say that I am saying therefore you accept. There is nothing like I am the Bhagavan, everybody should listen to. That autocracy is not there in Bharatiya Shastra. Krishna himself keeps on quoting gurus told like this, knowledgeable people told like this, my Purvikas told like this. So that shows that is wiseness. The wisdom comes from the heritage. The experience is what is great, is what generally we speak. But Bharatiya Shastram also doesn't believe on, oh, elderly people, his beard is white, so listen to him. No. It doesn't say like that. Yukti yuktam upadeyam vachanam balakadapi anyat pranamavatyajyam apyuktam brahmakadapi. If logically somebody says you must listen to them, logically he can explain it, then accept it. Logic is more important. So Sankhya Yogam, second chapter, is full of logic. So why you have to do karma? Why do you want to learn? Ask these questions. All those answers are what is given in second chapter, Sankhya Yogam. Sankhya Yoga means analysis, criticize, interpret, compare with all the earlier knowledges, so that the explanations will come in the later part. What is the essence of second chapter? Free from raga, bhaya, krodha, etc. Therefore, your brain will work logically. When we get angry, buddhi will not work. That is what we have seen last day when we were discussing on sthita prajna. Dukkheshu anudiknamana, sukheshu vigataspruha vida raga, bhaya, krodha, sthita tir muniruchyate. 56th sloka. That is where we stopped. We'll skip 57, 58. Go to 59th sloka in Bhagavad Gita. Whichever language is of your convenience, you must keep that book. I keep the Malayalam version of Chinmaya Swami. Just look at it. I have ticked a few slokas by virtue of reading it many times and then found that maybe I can skip some of them when I wanted to look at it most interesting and all that. But second time when I read, I feel again I have ticked on 57. No, but I have to skip somewhere. So 57, 58, 59. All of them are equally important. Maybe we will go to 59. Or 58 is also important. Why not? 58. Yata samharate chayam kurmo angani va sarvashaha indriyan indriyarthebhya tasya prajna pradishchitam yatha samharate chayam kurmam is tortoise. As tortoise withdraw itself, its limbs, the legs and the arms and the head goes inside the shell and hide itself. What is the wise people's activity? They have to become steady. Like you have to be in the shell as a tortoise keeping inside the shell. If you want to be inside the wisdom shell, not to react into small things. Like earlier we said, dukkham, sukham, all that. That is because your indriyas are overreacting. So how do you control indriya? You must have the power of tortoise. All the indriyas can be withdrawn inside you, and the wisdom should be your cover. What a great comparison. You have to be like a tortoise, very strong. The wisdom has to be strong enough. Tortoise is supposed to be the most strongest shell. That is why in the Madhanam was happening, tortoise was kept and on top only the churning was done. So you have to withdraw your indriyas, all the sense organs, the sensory objects which are dragging you outwardly, withdraw inside as the limbs of the tortoise is being driven inside with the divine wisdom. That is the protection shell. The godly wisdom which we have is our protection shell. That is what 58th sloka says. Yadha samharate chayam kurmo anganiva sarvashaha kurmo anganiva sarvashaha indriyan indriyarthebhya tasya prajna pradishtita. Beautiful. That's a wonderful sloka. Now 59. Ya sarvatranabhi snehaha. Is it 59? Sorry. 59 is Vishaya nivartande. Vishaya vinivartande niraharasya dehinaham rasavarjam rasopyasya rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Who realizes? The Supreme realizes. What is that he realizes? All the taste which we have around us, the indriyas are getting taste of all that what is around us, and this deham goes around to understand all that. that asakti, that temptation which we have towards the sensory objects which are around us, what should be done? Earlier Sloka said you have to withdraw yourself, and the wisdom is the shell. Now assume you have the wisdom shell, you don't have to withdraw it. When you have the cover of the great wisdom, the divine wisdom, your indriyas will not see outside that. The indriyas will only see that. What does it mean? Earlier what he said, all the indriyas have to be withdrawn and covered with the divine shell. So assume it is covered. What will happen? You will only see those divine wisdom only. You don't see those outside materialistic temptations. The Vishayasakti will not be there. So this sloka again confirms what is earlier told in the 57th sloka. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. What does it mean? We are all tempted by indriyas, which is controlled by manas. So instead of manas being active and controlling the indriyas, you must have the cover of the atmiyata, the spirituality. Therefore, the spirituality is what you will see with your indriyas. Anything which you see becomes spiritual for you, divine for you. Therefore, your indriyas will not have that asakti. That is what it says. So both slokas explained in two different styles. That's it. Now let us skip 60, 61 also. Go to 62 probably. Yeah, before that, now what is happening? All the objects which we have, all the objects around us, there is nothing wrong in tasting it. There is nothing wrong in enjoying that, because as human being we need to have Veda, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha, everything has to be there. Ishta and Ishtam has to be there. Liking and dislike has to be there. If everything is not there, emotional being is not there inside you, therefore you are not a human being. You are not having feelings. So emotion has to be part of your life. What is wrong? Getting bondage to that is wrong. When you get binded to that, what will happen? Your desire will become the prominent factor in you which controls you. Therefore, if you are denied with that, you get anger. Assume I want something to be done by XYZ. I believe that, oh, this person is going to listen to me. That person denies it. Yeah, it's okay. If I am not able to take into that account, what will happen? My desire becomes over me, and desire is what is controlling me. Assume my desire is under me, I am above that. Even if my desire is not happening, I will not worry. So desire becomes anger. So first is you have a lot of objects around you. Second one, you get binded to that. If you want to put an arrow, object bindedness. And once you get bounded to that, it becomes desire. Once desire comes, another arrow, anger comes out. When anger comes out, the delusion comes. You are not able to decide what is correct, what is wrong. I am expecting you are doing something, but you are not doing. Okay, forget about it. I don't care. If that attitude is not there, I will get confused. My brain will not work. I am always thinking about it. Therefore, what will happen? All the other memories will go. My brain will become inactive. So my buddhi will become useless. When that comes, that will be my destruction. Because my identity is my buddhi. My buddhi goes. And my buddhi goes, finished. That is end of me. That is what now Arjuna, your state. That is what Bhagavan Krishna says. Or indirectly Bhagavan Krishna tells all of us, If your sensory organs are so much bounded around your objects, assume I want to have morning tea. Without tea, my day is lost. So what will happen? I am attached to tea. If tea is not there, my day becomes bad. Then what will happen? That desire for the tea creates anger in me. And when the anger comes, I will not be able to read, I will not be able to work. So my delusion starts from there. When I will start shouting at everybody around. So my recognition of people has gone. I don't understand what is logically correct, illogical. Everything looks illogical for me. That is because I become a servant of my anger. This is what happening to you, Arjuna. Therefore, you are going to destroy yourself. The basic reason is your indriyas are uncontrollable. So the Sthita Prajnavastha, what is explained, is being again emphasized. So how do you become that person who will not fall, who will not be lost by yourself? How does you stay in that state where ignorance is not what is required with all the knowledge? Because the whole subject is analysis. You can be ignorant, you can be a fool, buffoon. No, it is not being told like that. You have to be wise, wisest of the wisest with the full knowledge, and have all the thoughts around it. You must also have a taste for every object around you. Otherwise, your intelligence is useless. Your indriyas also have to work. But don't become binded to your indriyas and become controlled by the desires instead of you controlling your desire. This is actually life science. So what is that? 62nd sloka, 62nd, 63rd, 64th. I think these three slokas clearly again explains it in a much better way. Dhyayato vishayan pumsa sangasteshu pajayate sangat samjayate kama kamat krodho vijayate. Whatever just now I told, I am reading it in Sanskrit. That's it. Dhyayato vishayan pumsa. My concentration, dhyanam, my contemplation, my shraddha is on the sensory objects around me. Dhyayato vishayan, which is outside. Pumsa, in that is what I am always around. Sangasteshu upajayate, I get attached to that. Sangastam, not attached, casually attachment, but no, binded to that. Attachment is good. That attachment, casual attachment, becomes a bondage. Sangam is bondage. But you can see in most of the Bhagavad Gita translations, attachment is used. I told you many times, correction. You get bounded. The bondage is what happens inside you. Sangasteshu upajayate, that is what will happen to you. Sangat samjayate kamaha. When sangam comes, kamam will come. Desire, unstoppable. And that unstoppable desire, kamat krodho, that desire will turn into anger. That is what will happen. Kamat krodho abhijayate. That will become unstoppable. Desire becomes anger. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu upajayate sangat samjayate kamaha kamat krodho bhijayate. Why people get angry? Psychologically, if somebody asks question, this sloka is the answer. This is a beautiful sloka for psychology, which I keep on quoting. Then what will happen? When you get anger, what will happen? The next line. Arrow can be put. That's what I'm saying. You can put arrow. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha. Delusion will happen. You don't know what is right, what is wrong. When krodham comes, anger comes, you lose your sight. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha. Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. Smriti bhramshat buddhinasho. Smriti bhramshat buddhinasho. Buddhinashat pranashyati. Buddhinashat pranashyati. When buddhi doesn't work, that is your end. You are ruined. What is ruined means not that you don't exist. You become totally materialistic. As a human being, you are not existing. You will exist as an animal. Buddhi nashat. Because human beings have more buddhi, logical. So the essence of Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, is these slokas. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha. With krodham, anger, you will not have the ability to judge which is right, which is wrong. Confusion will come in you. You will be like a cloudy man. Karmegham will be there. Showering will not happen. The beauty is not there. It's all covered. Ravana is the cloud. Sita is the Devi. Rama is the sun. Rama will not be able to see Sita if the cloud is covered. That is the natural interpretation for Ramayana. Sammoha smriti vibhramaha. With that delusion, what will happen to you? Your memory will be lost. Smriti bhramshat buddhi nasho. When the bewilderment happens, you don't know what is to be done. Your intellect becomes useless. Buddhi nashat pranashyati. Very clear. Sanskrit is such a language. Sanskritam is such a language. When you keep on reading it 2, 3, 4 times, it is not the language which you learn in conversation for 10 days in a classroom. That we know how to speak English, how to read English. That doesn't mean you can interpret the poetry. I know how to read Malayalam. That doesn't mean I can interpret a poem. So interpretation comes only when your literary meaning understood in the proper way. So learning Sanskritam to dialogue is not what I prescribe to understand the scriptures. If you understand scriptures, you need not know how to speak that also. Conversation is not important. Language Sanskrit is different from the literature Sanskrit. So it's more important to understand the scriptures. You must keep on reading it, or read over and over and over and over, understand the essence and dissect it. Like a botany man dissecting the flower. Go inside the sloka and split them and understand. One reading you may not be able to. Again keep on reading. Again we will have. Because same slokas. If I have to do 18th chapter 72nd sloka, this sloka is must. If I want to do 4th chapter 10th sloka, this is must. When I have to do 3rd chapter 34, I am not saying just blah blah blah. I have written all that here. So I am seeing that and saying. The 3rd chapter 34th sloka, same repetition. 18th chapter 23rd sloka, same repetition, explanation. Again reference can be seen in 2nd chapter 7th sloka. So like this, because karpanya dosho pahata swabhava, that is how 7th sloka. Why Arjuna had this karpanya dosham? Because of this. He said, I am delusion. Why Krishna gave all this lecture? Because already Arjuna said, I am in delusion, I am not able to decide what I wanted to do. Now Krishna gave a lot of lecture. That's why I am saying objective and scope is defined. Problem statement is given in the beginning. Now the end of the chapter is the conclusion. So this is what the problem Arjuna gave. The solution is given at the end. The objective, scope, everything is given. Conclusion is given. In between, the methodology is what is the middle of the chapter. What a beautiful structure for Bhagavad Gita. So logically written. If you want to learn how to write a PhD thesis, learn Bhagavad Gita. The structure is very clear here. That's a beauty. So, why reference 2.7? That is what the Krishna's question. Arjuna's question to Krishna. Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava. I am having full delusion. I am not able to decide what I wanted to do. Prichamitvam dharma sammudha cheta. I don't know what is right. Yat shreyasya nishchitam bruhitanme. Please decide which is right for me. Shishyasteham shathimam tvam prapannam. I am going to be your student. I am surrendering to you. That is what Arjuna says. But Krishna, what did he do? Oh, this is correct. Do it. Like today's normal teacher's job. You should do it. That is how people guide them. No. Krishna says, don't do that. You keep on giving lecture and then make him to understand. And ultimately you tell, I told you all this for this purpose. So this is the conclusion. What is the conclusion? Dhyayato vishayan pumsa sangasteshu pajayate sangat samjayate kama kamat krodo bijayate krodat bhavati sammohaha sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhramshat buddhi nasho, buddhi nashat pranashyati. So 2.7 question, answer is 2.62 and 63. Like we have seen chapter 1, last chapter. Inside chapter also we can see like this. That is the logic which I was telling. When you understand this, you will look for answer. Oh, Arjuna told this. Now where is the answer? This is the answer. Now Krishna is not satisfied, because looking at the student, the teacher knows whether student understood or not. No, let me explain once again. And why he explains it again? 64. Ragat dvesha viyuktasya, ragat dvesha viyuktaistu. Raga dvesha, two different problems. Raga dvesha. Ragam is desire, dvesham is, therefore you have this problem, that bondage that keeps you become all the dosham inside you, uncontrollable mind, dvesham. Raga dvesha. Why it happens? It all came with the yuktaistu. Why? Vishayani, with the Vishayam, objects around you. Indriyaishcharan. You became not a human being with a Atmiya Purusha. The spirituality is not working. What is working in you? You became a Indriyaishcharan. You are Indriyas, nothing other than Indriyas. Logic is not there. Your Buddhi is not working. Because of this bondage, Buddhi is not working. Atma Vaishyar Vidhe Atma. You are only a person who looks at what Indriya needs. Your Atma will become useless. Atma Vaishyar Vidhe Atma. If you don't want that, what you require? Prasadam Adi Gaschati. You have to become a graceful person with that cover, wisdom cover. What wisdom cover? The tortoise cover. It has to be so strong, because Indriya keeps on penetrating inside you and disturbing. Or maybe the objects around you. For that, what you require? Prasadam is required. Grace of God is required. It doesn't come just like that. The attachment, you want to get rid of those problems with the over attachment, which will turn into bondage. What is to be done? Get out of that. And get to that prasadam adi gaschati. That is what is required. The Ishwaranugraham is required. Ragadvesham will be going out of you when your Atma will become powerful and Indriyas are not controlling you. You become an Atma Vijayi Bhava, if you want somebody's blessing. Atma Vijayi Bhava, not Indriya Vijayi Bhava. Right? And therefore, your manas will become so prasadam. So prasadam. So prasadam. You will start showing your prasadam. Your life will be shown as that which is inside you, not what is outside you in the Indriyas. This is what again Sthita Prajna. So all these slokas are explanations of giving. Don't get controlled by mind. You must also make your Atma to be higher. Again you can see this logically explaining in the subsequent chapters when yoga concept and all being explained. So what is this sloka? Ragat dveshai viyuktaisthu vishayanin indriyaischaran Atmavaishyar Vidheyatma Prasadam Adigachati. If you are looking at some text, if it is written continuously, you must know where to cut it. So that's why I am chanting like this, so that your cutting becomes good. As I understood. I don't say this is the perfect one and all that. No. As I understood, this is what I feel. There can be different people. Much better person also could be there. Now 65, 66, let us skip all that. 66, 67 also you can skip. It's already 8 o'clock. Let us go to 69. So what will happen? a wise person will go out of raga, bhayam, krodham, dvesham. Inner weakness will not be there. Only learning. When you learn higher and higher, the Arjuna Vishadam will not be there inside us. Arjuna Vishadam is because raga, shoka, moha, lobha, all that. Because of that bhayam. The bhayam also will go. You will become no fear, no krodham. Anger will not be there. The fear will not be there. The mind becomes so calm and cool. That is what will happen. Once that becomes, you get into liberation. That is mukti. And that is what all of us want. Ultimately what we want, if one question, mukti. So the 69th sloka, example of one method of liberation. There are many methods. This could be one of them. What all gives us that ignorance and what can make you wiser? How do you get into that introspection so that inside you there is a sage, a swami, a tapam is there. Tapam is heat. A heat is inside you. That heat is burning, not in the tummy, little above that. And that fire will make you to understand what is good. And that fire will give you a light. That light is called enlightenment. So that enlightenment will come to you. How? 69th sloka. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam. How darkness is there which makes dark without light for every bhutas. Tasyam jagat jagarti samyami. Tasyam jagarti samyami. Yasyam jagrati bhutani. The first one is jagarti, second one is jagrati. Yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato mune. Sa nisha, how the darkness, pashyato mune, make a sage to do introspection. When you close your eyes, how do you make things dark? Close your eyes. How closing your eyes gives you the concentration power to look inside you, that is introspection. Close your eyes and then look inside you. How that comes? That comes like the night comes and your indriyas are not able to see anything around. So what is the wiseness? Ignorance about what is materialistic around. Divert your attention to inside. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam. How darkness is created for every animal in the world. Every animal gets only when the sunlight goes, the darkness is there. But for us, if you want to create darkness, we can close our eyes. Those animals don't have this ability to go into meditative power, look inside and all is not there. But we have. Like other animals need darkness to come. Tasyam jagarti samyami. That is how for those animals the day and the night is understood separately. Yasyam jagrati bhutani. For us who have got the jagrata, that ability, those creatures are different. We are entirely different, higher animal. So we can close our eyes and get into the darkness where we are not tempted by what is seen around. Because there is nothing which you can see. So what is to be done? Close your eyes. That doesn't mean physically closing eyes. Physically you are seeing but you are not processing it. That ability is called Atmiyata. That ability is called spirituality. So this is how definition of spirituality. 69th sloka is important because how to become a Sthita Prajna, this is what is explained. I may see a beautiful flower, but I don't want to pluck it. Let it be there. I am attached to that flower, but I am not binded to that flower. I don't want that to be mine, and not everybody else. Let that be enjoyed by everybody. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami yasyam tasyam jagarti samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato mune. Beautiful. I don't know whether you are enjoying. I am enjoying. So it is not that you are ignorant about it. You are wise, therefore you are shutting it. What is the difference between wise and ignorant? Wise man is free. What is ignorant? He is bounded. Wise man, it is day. Ignorant man, night becomes night, day becomes no night. But for me, I can close my eyes and make a night. It is in my control. A wise man becomes a Swami. A ignorant becomes an Asami. Opposite of Swami. Okay. I become the master of my happiness. But whereas an ignorant man will become a slave of happiness. Because Indriyas are what is controlling it. Right? What is a wise man's ability? He has a smiling face, blooming face. What is the opposite of blooming? Gloomy face. Right? So you have a blooming face or a gloomy face. That you can decide. I keep drawing nice pictures sometimes. Only difference is the angle in which you look at it. Right? So if you draw one picture, two upper circles and down one, that shows happiness. Just to reverse it, is it shows happiness or sadness? Sadness. Now I want to convert it into happiness. What do? You can see, I just reversed it. That's it. You look at both pictures. What is the difference? The center of circle I inverted. That's it. The mouth becomes like this. The mouth becomes like this. That's it. That's how we are. Look at your mirror, then you know. The eyes becomes like this. Mouth becomes like this. So gloomy and gloomy. Blooming and gloomy. These are the two differences. So you can decide whether you want to be a wise person or an ignorant person. Right? So just to completion, this is over. I think chapter is over. But the last sloka is 72. Let us also chant that to realize, oh, that is the last. We have done up to first to last. Okay. So 72nd. Esha brahmistidi partha nainam prapya vimuhyati stitva syamandakarevi stitva asyam andakale api brahma nirvana mrichyati esha brahmi sthiti partha. O partha, esha brahmi, that is how you become enlightened. Stay in that enlightenedness. He partha, nainam prapya vimuhyati. Don't run away from this. Prapyam, it is achievable for you. But you have to aspire to get it. Don't run away from that aspiration. Stitva asya andakale api. For some people, it comes andakal, last at the death. When they reach higher and higher age, they keep looking at it. Stitva asyam andakale api. Then that time you reach, no, that's not important. Brahma nirvana mrichyati. That supreme abode you can reach with all these efforts now itself, not at the end of your life. Esha brahmi sthiti partha nainam prapya vimuhyati. Don't think that it is not achievable for you. It is achievable for you. Right? Sthita stitva asya andakale api brahma nirvana mrichyati. Esha brahmi sthiti partha nainam prapya vimuhyati stitva asyam andakalevi brahma nirvana mrichyati. Iti Srimad Bhagavad GITAsu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyaya Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Sankhya Yogo Namaha Dvitiyodhyayaha Samapta. Same, I am not able to stop. Again, this can be seen in the 8th chapter, I think. Yeah. Chapter 8, 5th sloka. Andakale cha mameva smaren muktva kalebaram. Andakale cha. Last moment you think about Bhagavan, then you can get into Bhagavan. That's what it says. But you don't know when is your last time. So every time you think about it. That's what Bhagavan says. He's a very, very crooked chalu teacher. Right? So we will discuss it. If I take references, I will not go anywhere. I will keep on referring to other chapters. So I am restricting myself not to refer to any other chapters in the coming chapters. Otherwise, 8.5 is also where it is explained. I forgot to write it. I think we should write it. 8.5. Yeah, I think good enough for today's. So we have taken few slokas. What I do is I invest a lot of time on this. After all this, I edit. I post the slokas on my video. You know, it takes almost 5 hours. And those people who are listening don't even have some time to spare to chant it and send it. In the beginning, there were at least 5 to 10 people chanting and sending it. I wish the response can be when you chant and send it, at least those slokas, so that you will, this is not spending time. Spending time, there are many casual time. This is investing your time in your life. So you will know the response. There are only very few people who have chanted. So this week I was too much busy, so I couldn't put them together. So I wish you can put all of them together, and then those slokas, which are the 56, after 56. 56 was Siddha Bhasha. After that, up to 72, we have done only 5-6 slokas are there. If not all of them, at least a few of them which you liked it. Why am I selecting this? Don't ask. Logical is not there. I feel that, okay, these are good ones, so I am selecting it. So you could do it when you feel, yeah, this is good. Good enough? Maybe somebody can read it or chant it or explain it better, or maybe you have some questions you can ask, some dialogue, some discussions. That is what we expect. I believe all of you can listen to these slokas, explanations much better in different YouTube platforms. But maybe what makes it different is we go in a sequence so that we are into that. So it gives a chance for us to read and understand and learn. Second one, we can have a dialogue.
Excuse me, sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Can I ask? I only have a doubt. What is the meaning of Indriyas?
Krishna Vaishnika, come on to video first. Second one, don't address me, sir. Yeah. Tell me, DrTPS here. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay,
No.
doctor. I wanted to. Sir, can you tell me what can I call you?
DrTPS, that's good enough.
Dr. TPS, I have a doubt. What is the meaning of Indriyas?
What is the meaning of?
Indriyas.
Indriya, all the sense organs. Eye. Then, what is the next one? Tell me.
Nose.
Next sequence.
Ear.
Yeah. Then,
Mouth. Tongue.
tongue. Then,
Skin.
skin. That's it. We are all being with the Indriyas active. So Indriyas are being controlled by Manas. No translation in English. Manas is Manas, no translation. In Western psychology also there is nothing called Manas. Eastern philosophy, Eastern psychology, we have Manas. Manas and Buddhi are entirely different in Bharatiya Shastra. Manas is what is controlling the Indriyas. It is like a software in the computer. Buddhi is the storage, the logical device where the processor is there. But processor will not work with without connecting to the input output device. So input output device is what is Indriya. So most of the people are the disciples of Indriyas or the servants of Indriyas, or Indriyas control them. When you see a beautiful lamp, a small child will see it is beautiful, it will go and catch, because buddhi doesn't work. So sometimes Indriya becomes so much powerful, your buddhi is not grown, you will do mistakes, because Indriya is what is, oh, go and catch. Right? Next Indriya, tongue becomes so active. Most tastiest food we wanted to eat. Though we know the tastiest food is not good for health, but still we will eat. Because though it is only quarter of an inch, the tongue that understands the taste, 36 feet in your body suffers because of that. Got it? So Indriya should not control us. That is what the whole essence of second chapter. Again it will come in 15th chapter, what food you should eat, what food should not be eat. If you want to know the life science food concept in Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter. Kattomla Lavanatyushna. Who will eat old food? What sort of character you have, all that will be understood. That is what today's science, which is called the microbiotics or macrobiotics. Look at microbiotics, macrobiotics. You will understand this science. So I keep saying microbiotics, macrobiotics is 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Sir.
Nilaya has shown the hand. Yeah. Unmute, Nilaya.
Okay. Namaste. I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you. Professor, about manners, could we call it somehow a sensitive consciousness?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, continue.
Oh. Yeah, because you were talking about mana. In Portuguese, I think mana makes sense, because I have a very nice, she used to be my English student, and her name is Mana, and she is amazing. So she could go over a very hard health condition, and she developed a wonderful...
You type in, that is better. I think it's not... The sequence is breaking.
It's like her. I'm sorry?
Sequence is breaking. You can type in, that is better in the chat box.
Oh, okay. I will type that.
Yeah.
I like very much when you say, oh, could you type also? Because I love when you said about happy is blooming and the other way.
Blooming and gloomy.
So I think that
Blooming and gloomy.
with the B and
B-L-O-O-M. Bloom.
bloom. Okay.
Yeah, and gloomy.
Like G, like Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
It's PG. Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
So I'll type that.
Okay. Fine.
Okay,
Fine.
beautiful.
Fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Jemmy, you can. Jemmy raised hand.
Yeah. But I will. Okay. How to do this? Okay.
Namaste, Namaste, DrTPS.
Namaste.
My doubt is, we learned that our brain will become inactive when we are in over tension or in fear, and to control and to be in the state of Sthita Prajna, we need the grace of God. And so when before coming to that sensation, like whether it is fear, whether it is anger, that will come according to the situation actually. So when a situation comes, we have to act. So how can we decide we will be acting for somebody, or we will be acting for others? We will be acting for others, or we will be acting so like Arjuna, he is acting for for his brothers and for his family. So as he is attached to his family, he is in that state actually. So when we are acting for ourselves, when we are acting for ourselves, and when we are acting for the close ones, this fear or anger will come. Then sometimes we may not necessary to act also, but how we will get that wisdom at this time, whether we have to take this, whether we have to act or not, how can we decide that? Because the environment
I
will
got
be
it.
advising us to take.
Yeah, I got it. Jammi, there is a small correction. Arjuna is not in action for his family or himself. It is for the whole humanity who are ruled by that kingdom, who were suffering because of a bad king. It was not for him or for his family. If it was for a family or for him, Bhagavan Krishna would not have even intervened. His intention is not. Understand, Bhagavan is not asking him to fight because, yeah, your family wanted to be in power. No. It was all for the people around them. They are suffering because of a bad king. Therefore, that is what will come in the end also. There is, I explained earlier also. After the war, Dharmaputra wanted to be the king. Krishna is, Charvaga comes. Charvaga is a critic, a representative of an opposition leader. The critic comes and tell him that, you know, what you have done is wrong. You should not have killed all your relatives. So immediately Krishna is asking, or Dharmaputra comes and asks him, is it true that what I have done is wrong? I will go for penance. I will do this many pujas. I will pray God. Bhagavan Krishna says, if you all do that also, your papa will not be cleaned. But you only asked me to fight. Yes, I asked you to fight. But if it is for you, what you have done is wrong. If you have done all this for the people and you become the ruler and show that, you know, you are making the kingdom happier, dharma is prevailing after your, then what you have done is correct. Then all that mistake you have done is not at all a mistake. So how do you decide what is correct? Whether what I am doing now is for me, for my family, or does it have a bigger consequence? So look at what is the consequence of my action. Who can see that? Who is not controlled by indriyas, who is not suddenly taking actions. He has got a wisdom inside him which comes from where? When your buddhi, oh yes, you have to analyze. Manas, yes, do I have a desire? If I don't, my buddhi only says, oh, I have to make money, so I keep working. You are not enjoying it. Your action will become only for some activity which gets you money, therefore you are doing it. But assume you enjoy it. Your manas is also put into that. So that becomes devotion. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita doesn't ask you to do only logical reasoning by Sankhya in 2nd chapter. Now the next chapters will tell you how to be with bhakti. Devotion, how can you do job? Not even that. It will also tell you jnanam, how knowledge has to be there. So you will see the mix of all these is what the chapter headings. If you just read the chapter heading, you understand how perfectly he made the mold, the mixing, so that your action is with devotion, you enjoy it. Logically you think, yes, you are enjoying means your Atma is also part and your Manas is also smart. Right? Therefore, the essence of Bhagavad Gita, when I talk in the other chapter, I will say, Uddhared Atmanatmanam, Atmanam avasadhet, Atmaiva Hyatmano Bandhu, Atmaiva. Your biggest enemy is you, your biggest friend is also you. So when you raise your Atma, or no, Atma is the highest. Raise your Manas to Atma level and the Buddhi also to Atma level. Everything becomes one. Then your action becomes clear. So Jammi's question is, how do I logically correct whether I have got interest in doing it? When your Atma becomes one, you are the judge, you are the administrator, you are the person who is filing case in the court. You understood? Now the problem is, as a human being, as a citizen, I am filing case against administrator. And then the judge is telling what you have done is wrong. Sometimes the judge will tell you what you have done is wrong. Sometimes the judge will tell you that what administration has done is wrong. Both can happen. Sometimes the Atma, my own Atma will tell you, I told you, you should not think like this. To my brain, my Atma is telling. Don't we have this occasion? Oh, I should not have told like this. The answer which I gave to Jayanti last time was not at all correct. I should not have told like this. Who is telling? My own Atma tells me later. Then I am not an Atmiya Purusha. My Manas is reacting fast. When my Manas is reacting fast, what will happen? I will keep on scolding me later. So I become an unhappy person. Nobody else tell me that no, what I have done is wrong. Dr. Jayanti may not tell me at all. Though she has insight, she may not tell me. But I felt no, I should not have told like this. If I keep on thinking like this, what will happen? I will become sad person. Therefore, the next reaction to Dr. Jayanti will be keeping that in mind. So my all actions becomes non-pure. My buddhi nasham will happen. So my pranashyati, my distress situation starts from there. So what is to be done? I have to be clean. What I am doing is not for me. I am not getting angry. I am not criticizing somebody for my anger to come down because my BP is going up. No. I wanted to send a message to Dr. Jayanti. That is done. That conference is over. What I want to tell in that conference is over because I have got something else coming next moment. No, I am fully into action. So what Bhagavan says is keep on getting into action. You must be doing some mistake. Don't worry about it. You don't have time. You do a bigger job. So your mind always will be active with action. Doesn't mean only Indriya's action. It is not. The buddhi is also one of the sankalpa me shuddhyandam. My sankalpa has to be clean. My thought process is also one action. A teacher's indriya is what? Thought process. How do I become creative? My buddhi is active now. Am I doing work now? Yes. What am I doing? Am I seeing all of you? I am seeing all of you, but I am not even processing the sight because my eye is not active now. Atma is active, so Indriya is not active. Your question I got here, immediately it goes into Atma and Atma keeps on. I am not logically thinking. Do you think I am logically thinking what I have to, which word I have to use, from which dictionary, where it doesn't happen. As if a driver is driving, is he thinking when to apply brake? When actual brake is to be applied, they will apply. Automatically it happens. If such automatically it is happening, I am enjoying because that is how I am driving. If I have to keep on thinking about driving, my driving becomes so restless. Got it? So I am not worried about how does it affect because I am already clear in my Atma. My buddhi is not working, my manas is not working. What is working is my Atma. That is why it is called Atmiya Purusha. So you must reach into that level so that you don't have to question yourself. Until you reach there, you will have to question. That is how when you are driving, learning driving, oh, where is accelerator, where is brake, all that will happen. Automatically you don't know. When did you learn driving? Don't ask me. A day came when you become confident, you started driving without confusion. Correct? When you started making chapati, it did not have the shape of round. When did you start making it round? Don't know. But the day you got angry when you make a chapati, it may become Indian chapati. The shape will become different because your mood is not there. Correct? It may not become round. Otherwise, yeah, you are enjoying, it will become exact round. The taste will come. That's how it is. Yeah. Yeah. Dr. Jayanti, your hand is up.
Good evening, sir.
Namaskaram, Princess Madam.
Namaskar. There are 3 questions I have.
Yeah.
The first question is that what do you mean by avidya, ignorance? Second is that why in Indian tradition we always said ignorance is the root cause of sufferings. So is it a technical word? And third thing is that when we talk about the evolution of the Sankhya philosophy, Like there is a Prakriti and the material substance, and there is a spiritual substance. And when the Prakriti gets united with Purusa, and the first product came into existence is Mahat, the Buddhi, the intellect. And then they developed 24 evolutes. So is it a logical explanation of the things that one followed by other? So, or is it a rational explanation? That's all.
See, Vidya, generally when we say avidya, savidya, what is savidya is understanding the value system, wisdom, all that goodness in you. What is avidya? What is required for me to sustain my life? What is required for me to buy this? I cannot use savidya to buy this. The materialistic things are part of our life, right? But why do we still call it as avidya? That is because for a person who is only looking at it and become blind, the vidya is not there. The vidya is the highest level which we all aspire to have. That vidya is lowered by looking at only materialistic. So what is human being? Between the avidya, the materialistic, and the savidya, are you able to balance it with our goal in life, with our role which we play around? How can I be a father? How can I be a teacher? How can I be somebody without that role which I am playing in the society is to be balanced? So I have a goal, I have a role, and that is need to be balanced with my value system. When I value that, what will happen? I have different roles. That roles, logically I start explaining at a different time based on the situation. That situation will only prescribe me what I am doing is correct, what I am doing is wrong, what purpose I am doing, where I am doing, in front of whom I am doing. All these matters. If that is not taken care of, what will happen? I am not rational. So it is not an absolute partition. It is only a relative partition. There is nothing called absolute in Bharatiya Dharma Shastra. Yuktam, ayuktam. What is yuktam and ayuktam? What is yuktam for me in front of somebody else is ayuktam for me in a public place. What is not yuktam for me in a public place, or maybe ayuktam in a public place, can be totally dharma in one place where I am alone. So it all depends. That is relative. That is why most of the people have this confusion. What is dharma itself? Dharma is not what is good and bad. There is nothing called good and bad. There is nothing called absolute good and bad. Nilaya is Om Shanti Pranam Namaste. Sensitive consciousness. Mana does make sense. Yeah, mana does make sense. Mana is, what is manas? Does it make sense? Yeah, emotional attachment, detachment, everything we have. Emotionally, we are a human being. So Bhagavad Gita never says that don't have manas, don't have attachment, don't have. No, only over attachment should not be there. That's only what it says. Sangam tiktva. Sangam should not be there. Sangam is not attachment. Okay. Also, sometimes senses might believe gloom for bloom. Yeah, I don't know. Thus, slavery. Oh. Is there a perfect sense to get to trust in? Yeah. All what we see is sensory. But the process what happens inside me has to be good. Yena chakshushani pashyanti, yena chakshunshi pashyati. What is seen is not by the eyes. Actually, there is a consciousness inside me that is seeing. My cell is seeing all this what is in front of me. But what is seeing is the cell is seeing. How am I recognizing the color? How am I recognizing the people? Because there is a consciousness in me which is processing to tell me this is what is. That is what is called sight. Sight is not vision. Vision is different from sight. Drishti is different. Drashta is different. Right? So that is how it is to be understood. Yeah, it feels happy. Could there be a horizontal happiness? Yes. What is degradation need not be there. What is, see, you also like sweet, you also like kara. The murchi also you like, salt also you like, bitter gourd also you like, right? So is it a degradation there? No. Everything is happiness. How do you grade sweet and salt? They are equal. There is nothing called bigger and higher and small. No. Every sense organs, when it tastes, for some people it is good, some time it is good. Yeah, salt is very good in your sambar, in rasam. But don't put salt in the tea. For tea, we have only habituated with the sweet, right? So, but some people put also jaggery in the sambar, so that sambar becomes little tastier, Tamil style. So it all depends on how do you tune yourself. So what is happiness? Happiness is the tuning of the mind. For me, when I eat idli, oh, it becomes so good and I'm so happy. But you give the same idli to somebody else who is not happy with idli, for him only noodles is happier. It changes. So happiness is horizontal. Always horizontal. Nothing like this is good, this gives you happiness, this gives you. Comparison is not possible. This is bigger, higher is not there. Everything. Yeah. But only thing when you become a servant of that, yeah, itching is there, scratching is most happiest thing. When you hold it, it becomes problem. Who is making you to scratch? Not the finger. Your manas says scratch. How beautiful is that? Now you become a labor. What is that you are doing? Labor of your manas. You keep on scratching. After some time the blood comes out, you know, oh, I should not have done it. Who asked you to do it? Your manas asked you to do it. Did your buddhi reacted? No, it enjoyed. Buddhi became null. No action. But then later you realized buddhi kept saying, I told you don't do it next time. But next time also when you have a pimple, what you do? Ding. Hey, last time I did it, give a mark, I should not have done it. Why? Because the wisdom doesn't work. It's a practical example of life. Much love and gratitude always. Yeah. Yoga is karmasu kaushala. Again relating to the best of the best. Yes, that's how it is. How do you do activities where the yoga happens? So in this context, what is yoga? The buddhi and the manas joins to the atma. Uddharet atmanatmanam atmanam avasadet atmaiva hyatmano bandhu atmaiva ripuratmanaha. That level in which the buddhi and the manas joins to the atma is what is yoga. Right? In such case, all your actions will be controlled only by your Hridaya Guhara Madhye Kevalam Brahma Matram. Inside the Hridaya there is a Brahma and that is creative. Therefore, anything which you do will become creative. So creative people are always happy. And that happiness gives them a lot of, yeah, I did something great today. So be creative, create moments. For creativity, you need a lot of knowledge. So that becomes a knowledge sequence. Yeah. How people develop addiction? Nalaya's question. Addiction is because your indriyas are addicted. Your manas is addicted. Your logical reasoning doesn't happen. Buddhi doesn't happen. So your Sankhya is lost. Analysis is not there. And you are not in the biggest problem is you are not in satsangam. You are not with the people who will suggest you good and bad. Who will become like that? That we will see in the when 3 types of sabhavas are being explained in Bhagavad Gita in the later chapter. Addiction. Who will get addiction? Who will get surrender to this? All that will happen in the later chapters. A lot of questions, messages. Yeah, but I wish if somebody wanted to ask that is interesting, addiction relates to disconnection. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody? Good enough? Or some more questions? Mind, body, soul. Yeah, Nilaya type. We will come. That will be understood more and more in the... Yeah, Suchita, you don't have to show hand. You can unmute and start questions.
Okay. Acharya Pranam.
Namaste.
When Manas is ruled by your buddhi, sometimes you move towards with Krishna. How
Yeah.
to stop and maintain that balance?
Abhyasena tu kaunteya. Krishna will tell later. It is not that easy. You need lot of practice. You need satsang. You need such people around you. So that your satsanga will tell you this should not happen. Sthita Prajna doesn't mean that you should not have all that. You should have. Getting angry, getting sad, getting taste, getting... All that is must, as otherwise you are not a human being. But don't be in that place without getting out of it. The fluctuation should be, last time I explained, it should not be like a FM wave. It should be like an AM wave. So that not too much of fluctuation. Right? When you get happiness, you start jumping. And when you become sad, you become down. When you get angry, you start shouting. Immediately you will become sorrow because, oh, I should not have done it. How do you get rid of all this? You need to with such people, right? So that nothing affects. Maunam. Sometimes best thing is when you wanted to react immediately, hold yourself and then delay for some time. That's why immediate reaction sometimes creates problems. Got it? Most Swayam Atma Nibanthanam Sukham. When something is to be told, probably you are making noise. That doesn't solve problems. So you have to have that calm. How do you get to that calm? There is a great joke. When Buddha was going for a lecture, Buddha was against the practice which was happening those days. Only such people become greater later. So somebody asked him and then said, no, what you are doing is, wait, I will come back. I am going for a lecture, let me come back, then I will discuss with you. Do you think the anger will hold for another half an hour? When you get anger, immediately you have to burst out, right? The husband and wife was fighting always, and then we went to a Swamiji. Swamiji called the wife and then said, when the husband gets angry, this is what you should do. Some technique was told. So that day husband started shouting, the wife was keep on chanting. Because the Swamiji gave some chanting. Second day, third day also the husband is getting angry, wife is not reacting. When reaction is not there, WWF has no meaning. Correct? So the third day both of them went back and then again this person asked, what is that what you said? Keep quiet, that's only what I said, nothing else. Don't react. When you react only, the actual fun will come. If you don't react, fun is not there. So you are actually enjoying that moment. When you are getting angry, what is happening? You are enjoying. But that enjoyment makes difficulty for somebody else. They will start reflecting. That reflection makes you much more worse. So the best thing is shut yourself for some time. Take a deep breath. Hold yourself. And see, let me delay for some more time. That is good. Always that is good. It needs little practice. Otherwise it doesn't happen as people say. You can see young children. They are good. They get angry. They want this pen. They get angry. But immediately you want this pen. You take it but you give something else. They will redirect. We lost that because we got bounded to this. That's a problem. That bondage is the problem. What do? Assume that two people are fighting at home. But you have a guest coming at home. What you will do? You will hold. So nicely you will talk to them. As you will wait for that fellow to go to start the second chapter. No. Correct? Yeah, whatever is told, Sujita, don't worry. I forget about it. But then there is a but we add. That but is the problem. I keep saying there are few problems. But yet still, however, nevertheless. These if you remove in your life, half of the problem is solved. I don't care what do you do, but you should not have done it. If I don't care what you have done, then why but there? So don't use the word but in your life. Some letters you identify what is creating problem in your life and remove it. Yeah, I love you. If is a problem. See, love is unconditional. When you keep conditions there, it is not love at all. It is bondage. It is contract. I love Aravind. Only. Then what is love? There is no only there. Condition should not be there.
Actually, sometimes our mind is conditioned so well from the previous experiences that whenever there is a happiness around, you don't feel you still don't feel that happiness.
Yeah, that is because that is basically that is basically a culture. Why parents scold children? That is what those parents given to them. So we have some property which we got traditionally. Why a teacher is scolding the student? Because their teacher scolded them. Today also I was thinking. Tomorrow I have got my native people are meeting. So many teachers now contacting me. I wanted to attend this program because they were all my teachers. So I was telling this teacher used to beat me like anything. I don't know why he beats me. See, I may not understand mathematics. That is not my problem. No. I was not taught properly. But I have nothing. Today I was thinking, why he gave me sufficient beating? He keeps saying, your brother studies well, why you are not studying? My brother studying is not my mistake. No. How can you compare two different things? So many reasons are there. What is the reason? Because they got practiced this beating. Why in America teachers don't beat children? Why parents don't scold them? They don't scold.
America, they will end up in the jail.
Yeah, that is the culture. Assume that the parents scold the child, finished. I was giving training exactly 2 years back there. I used to scold children. Hey, this fellow is yawning. What is that? This is my practice. Indian, they are all Indian children only. What not? Just because you are in America, you don't understand me or what? So this is a culture there, which is I cannot change it all on a sudden, right? That is because that is how I have been. So it needs lot of time. It needs lot of time with such people. Assume all the parents who are in America for 10 years finished. They will become like that. So it's a culture, it's a practice. What is around, that is what is satsang. Satsang means what is that around us, which makes us like that. That's how it is.
Excuse me, Doctor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me ask you one.
Yeah, one more. Let me add one. Assume I have got a itching here. Do you think I can scratch? I can scratch. But if I scratch, it will come on to YouTube also. Facebook also it will come. Do you think Prime Minister can do this? If Prime Minister does tomorrow, all the TV will show that he is doing this, right? Correct. So sometimes the power, position, all that gives you a lot of restrictions. That restriction is a culture. Yeah. And see. Yeah.
Yes. I would like to get these words. You said that but, if, and some other words too. Could you please
No,
repeat it for me?
depends on it is not that what I have listed down and then. See, for example, I keep saying try. Try is not there in my dictionary at all. I tried to learn. I tried to attend. No. There is no try at all. How do you say I will try? Assume you somebody's leg is broken. He is a handicap. I ask him to come on to the top floor. He will have to try. Because that is not normal for him to climb the steps, right? So what is not normally possible is what is called a try. So normally possible cannot be a try. It has to be I am doing. So if somebody says I send a message and say I will try to attend, 100% I know they don't attend. Got it? So there is no try. I will only do it. I will only do it is what is generally we speak in English. That's also wrong. I shall do it. When we learn the tenses, we only use the word shall. But Indian condition, we are habituated saying will. Will is a wrong usage. The sun will rise tomorrow is guaranteed. But Dr. TPS will talk to Ansi tomorrow is not guaranteed. I don't know whether I will be there or you will be there, whether the connection will be there. The internet has to be there, my line has to be up, then only I can say I will do it. So will is something which is very, very definite. Definiteness is not there in any of our actions. So I shall call you tomorrow. I shall meet you tomorrow. I will try to meet you is definiteness and a try inside. You know, our English is totally wrong. Most of the time it's wrong. How did we do this? See, I'll tell you. Again I am saying. Now I will tell you. Because I am telling now. I am guaranteed. I am telling. I don't think now I am going to die immediately. Right? That's a guarantee which I have. My professor kept on asking, what is your good name? We teach English like this. What's your good name? Immediately, if he's a British fellow, he will ask you, do you think I have two names, good and bad name? So tell me what's my bad name. Then I will tell you my good name. Got it? We confused a lot of things. Why this confusion? Because of our culture. That is how we have been taught. We had to correct it. That correction is a big process. That's a big job.
I'll tell you one example.
Yeah.
When I came to Brooklyn, that is 99, somebody asked me, what's up?
What's up?
I just look it up.
What's up? Roof.
Now, what's up means just
Roof.
app. So English itself is a problem. They have different style of usage in different countries.
Yeah. Anyway, this is not an English class, so we will not go to that. The behavior pattern. I was only explaining this to say, we learned all this because of our satsang. Whether right or wrong is because of the satsang. If we change that, people will say, why this man is speaking like this? So that is the satsang. So the satsang defines what is good and bad.
Then one thing more I want to ask you. You have said that people can attain mukti by controlling their senses.
Yeah.
Then that's the one way. Then you said there are other ways too.
Yeah.
Could you please tell the other ways and
See, sometime assume that Ansi is very close to me. Right? I have a feeling of gifting you something. That gift, whether it is useful or not, are you going to find it useful or not, is not what I am saying, right? I am giving it because I am enjoying. But once you use it, that becomes your happiness. So it depends on many conditions. It is not that what I am doing gives happiness. Conditional. Everything is conditional. My immediate action of scolding somebody can be sadness for you. But assume after some time when you thought about it, you understood, oh, what he said was correct. So it has got a later impact. So something can be temporary, something can be longer. There are many students. Today also somebody called me. They were asking something which the way they asked was not the way I expected. So I told them this is not acceptable to me. I know that they must have immediately felt, oh, unhappy, why this man is telling like this. I know they are not going to disconnect. If they disconnect, they are finished. They will mistake me. So the conversation went, oh, they understood. This is why I told like this. This happens most of the time. A parent calls and then tells me, I don't want my daughter to go for this course. You must convince her, this is not good. Are you making me a fool? I feel that what she does is correct. How can I make them to convince? I'm doing a wrong thing, which is I am not your agent to do such things, you know. No, but if you tell, she will listen. Why should I do this agency job? So I have to convince them. So it takes some time. So immediate response may not be acceptable to you. But later they understood. Yeah, there is a logic behind it. So that is why Bhagavan Krishna is not immediately giving solutions. He is telling you think about it and then decide. This is why I am telling all this. The whole chapter goes in the sequence of logically understanding, analyzing yourself. Otherwise Arjuna would have gone mad, no. What is the first way Krishna reacted? Today we cannot use that word, it is not a parliamentary word when we use it, but that word was hijata. Neither a boy or a girl. Today that is accepted in the dictionary, right? But those days it was not accepted. So that is how you are neither a girl or a boy. If you are a boy, don't get scared of such things. That means what? You are actually making fun of girls, right? They are not courageous or what? You can ask a lot of questions. But that scolding is to make his attention. In teaching methodology, I think it is Bloom's technology. There is 9 principles of teaching. The first one is grabbing attention. That is there in my book. This book, if you read, you will understand. If I wanted to get somebody listen to me, first I must grab their attention. So a parent's job is to grab attention of the student or of the son. I am telling you, that is how they will start. So that means you are showing the authority. Listen to me. Listen to me is what it is, right? So that listen to me is what is the first scolding. Then the logic comes. That's how the Bhagavad Gita is kept. Yeah. Aravindan has raised a hand.
Yeah. Like Guruji, what I understood from this these slokas, today's sloka, like don't run away from aspirations. Like in that case, how do I keep my aspiration higher, healthier, and wiser? How like maybe a sustainable aspiration?
You are asking me to finish Bhagavad Gita now, or you want Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yogam, Akshara Brahma Jnanam, Jnana Vijnana Yogam, Sannyasa Yogam?
No, like what we have understood in this like analysis, how
mostly that will come in the fourth chapter, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. When you understand, you will understand how to get into that temperament in which you get little more matured. Understand? Jnana Karma Sannyasa. Your action itself becomes so immersed in a godly activity, you will start enjoying it. That's what Bhagavad Gita will teach. So as we finished second chapter, the essence of, the crux of objective and scope definition of, or the synopsis of abstract of Bhagavad Gita is what is told now. Now the methodology will come, all that statistics adding together. Still Arjuna will not be happy. Then Krishna will have to show, who am I really? Listen to me. The attention calling is not working perfectly in the second chapter. So he will show his Vishwarupam. All that is must. So who is telling you? What context is telling you will make you to obey. That takes time. That's why the patience is what is, a learner should have patience and he should have a lot of questions. When questions are there, subsequent chapters becomes more interesting. The sustenance of Bhagavad Gita is questions. If somebody is talking Bhagavad Gita blah 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 without any reaction, no questions, Bhagavad Gita is not for that. Bhagavad Gita always is based on questions and then development. Question is not there, question is not there, answers are useless. So every one of us, even when I read, I become Arjuna, ask question. When I read answer from Krishna, I will become Krishna, start answering to Arjuna. So it's like a dramatics way of learning. You have to visualize. You are the Arjuna, you are the Krishna. You are the Manas, which is Arjuna. You are the Krishna, the Atma who is answering. Arjuna is not different, Krishna is not different, everybody is inside us. Indriyas are not different, they are all the Pandavas. You can visualize it in a different style. Then it becomes Sankalpa. Bharatiya Shastram is Sankalpa. If you don't understand that concept of Sankalpa, you will think Rama took birth here, therefore Krishna took birth here. So what do you do now? He has merged inside the sea. Therefore what? Sea would have taken it off. Now what are you going to do? You are going to dip yourself there or what? All these are Sankalpas. Rupam Rupa Vivarjidasya Bhavado Dhyayena Yat Kalpitam. Bhagavan doesn't have a Rupam. I gave a Rupam to Bhagavan. That's why Bharatiya Shastram is entirely different from other religious concepts. We have all tolerance because we don't care even if you make fun of Bhagavan. Because Bhagavan is not there. Bhagavan is only a Rupam which we have given to something. Rupam Rupa Vivarjitasya Bhavado Dhyayena Yat Kalpitam. I have given that Kalpana. That Surupam is given by me. Nilaya is left or what? Nilaya will be able to explain it much better because she is very much connected to Mahabharata by Peter Brooks. I keep on suggesting people, if you have not seen Peter Brooks Mahabharata, see Peter Brooks Mahabharata. I must have told all Bhagavad Gita. I think in the beginning also I told. Then you will understand what crazy Sankalpa which we have, that our Bhagavans are all white. No, need not to be. They could be black in color. They need not be stout and lot of muscles. They can be lean and then, no, possible. There is a great saying whether Mahabali is with full of bulky tummy. No, need not to be. Mahabali was a strong man, but somebody depicted him like this in some advertisement. Everybody started copying. So all these good pictures of all the lady goddesses, all Ravi Verma's creation. It's only Ravi Verma who created all the nice pictures for Bhagavadis. Otherwise, there was no sari. I don't think all the Bhagavadis had saris and or Krishna had no pajama and all that. No, I don't think. So these are all Sankalpas. Rupam Rupa Vivarjitasya Bhavado Dhyayena Yat Kalpitam Stutya Nirvajaniyadagila Guru Duri Gridayame. Not even having any explanation. His eyes are beautiful. What is beauty? What is beauty? For you ask in different races, different part of the world, for their beauty concept is entirely different. When somebody see a very big eye, they will see. Chinese people look at what because they like to have a narrow eye. Because their concept of beauty is narrow eyes. Right? So it's entirely different. Where is Bhagavan? Is he only in some few temples? Bhagavan's concept is Bhagavan is everywhere. So what is that we have done? We have kept him in few places and said, go there to see Bhagavan. What a foolish thing is this? Doshatrayam matkritam. All these are my doshas. I have created all this. Who is that me? All human beings have created. And behind them, who will go this? Only LKG Bhaktas will go. So logically analyzing is most important in this world. Probably one person who realized it and explained to the world is Vivekananda Swami. Sankalpa was clearly explained to people. That's why he was able to explain all the religion. People were under him and he could gather all of them together. There is no conversions. It's only acceptance. It's a beauty. We need to have that mind to understand. Some people say, no, don't study this, don't learn this. Are we not human beings to learn, created by human beings? You know, I belong to this religion, I will not listen to this. Not at all correct. You are a human being. You are a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu because your father belongs to that. Why he belongs to that? Because somebody converted him into that. Before that it was not there. Before Christ there was no Christianity. Before Muhammad there was no Muhammadiyas. So Hinduism doesn't have anything because it was traditionally those people who got into some category. The rest of the people are, we have an unclassified class. Unclassified class. If somebody asks me what is Hinduism, unclassified class is Hinduism. By birth, what you are is what you are. That's how it is. Non-classified class, unclassified class. That's how it is. So logic is important. So Bhagavad Gita is not a traditional religious textbook. That is what we are not doing. We are only learning the logic of learning, logic of devotion to your action, so that your action becomes purified and purified, so that many people will get benefit out of your actions. That is the science of Bhagavad Gita. Science of Bhagavad Gita is devotion, action, jnanam, and with authority. That is Rajavidya. You should have that authority. Oh, I know. I can tell I know. That is little arrogance or ego if you want to tell. But not arrogant ego. Understanding that I know this. When you know this, I know cycling because I could balance and drive. So I know Bhagavad Gita because I understood. I know how to drive through Bhagavad Gita. But that doesn't mean there is another better cyclist who will overtake me. There can be there. I am ready to learn from him that trick also. That's how it is. Yeah. Good enough? Dilip ji?
Devotion, action, jnanam.
Devotion is full with happiness. I am doing my job. That is what is called moksha. Moksha is not after death, going to Surga, Naraka, and all that. I am doing today, soon after this class. Oh, I feel I have done something good. Pat yourself and say, well done, DrTPS, to myself. That enjoyment which you derive out of an action is called moksha. Okay, that will come only when I do it with a full devotion. So my happiness, my bliss is with my devotion, related to my devotion. When my action becomes useful for many people, if I do something for my own self, my action is not shared by somebody else, there is no smiling face in front of me. When smiling face is not there, how do I reflect? What is my happiness? My happiness when somebody smiles at me. When somebody shows not a good mood, will I be happy? What will happen if I got an award? I will tell and say, I got an award. So what? Finished? No, my happiness also goes. The happiness comes only when somebody, I explain it. Yeah. We don't know how to react. You know how happy I am when I speak to some of the Western. One student is enough. I told you many times. Listen to that and then learn how to react to the discussions. Very, very essential. Response is, I told Ansi also last time when the message comes. This is not the way to answer, right? See, soon after a class, somebody sent a message for something. They should, yeah, I attended your class. That was good. That makes a bondage between that person. Otherwise, you are a selfish person. I want. You don't give anything. I am not asking any materialistic thing. I am only asking a acceptance of what I am saying. If I don't get it also, I have no problem. As DrTPS, I have no problem. But a student who is in front of me, I should teach them. If I don't teach them, what will happen? When they react in some other place, they will not get acceptance. That's how many people fail. So I am not doing it to get anything from anybody. I have gone to that stage. I don't react because I have seen lot of such bommas, junk fellows in this world, especially from Kerala. Even if you sing a normal song also, they will look at it as if they could not understand it. But you go to North India, they will say, wah, wah. Have you seen this? That is how they reflect. The reflections are more. But here reflections are not there. Yeah, you finish. Then I will tell you all the mistakes what you have done. That's how it happens. That's our problem. That is because our culture is like that. So, devotion, action, and then that is useful for somebody else is only called action. My eating, my cooking, my sleeping is not action. My job, my scientist job, salary, all that is not action. What is useful for general public as a common cause, which I do, without that also I could live. Understood? What am I doing as a service to humanity is only called action under the Bhagavan's direction. Otherwise, he has to take care of everybody, brushing, taking bath. His job is not those. Day-to-day activity is not under his control at all. He is not even bothered what you do day-to-day. Got it? All that results for a common cause. Therefore, Arjuna's job is an action, karma. That's why in that karma is explained for a common cause. That has to have bhakti, jnanam, knowledge. Without knowledge, when I do it, I will become only a fitter and a tool maker. But I should raise to an engineer's level, a scientist level. I must make a researcher level, academician's level. When they do it entirely different. But you may have to start like an apprentice. There is nothing wrong in chanting mantra without knowing the meaning. That is what we do when we chant tingle tingle little star. Nothing wrong. But when you become PG, at least look back. Or if you are a teacher who is teaching, LKG student and the teacher should not have same knowledge. Teacher must know what is twinkle twinkle meaning. Students need not know. So you must learn to that level. Raise knowledge. Every day is learning. How do you get into that? Keep on learning and listening to higher and higher and higher and higher knowledge. Automatically you get lifted up. Don't tell I don't understand, therefore I don't listen. If you don't understand, keep on listening. Got it? I don't understand this language. Nothing wrong. Keep on listening many times, you will understand. How a small child learns mother tongue? Is it because by birth they understood the mother tongue? No. They keep on listening. How many times? Many times the Amma must have told Amma, 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 Amma. Then they understood. Oh, this is Amma. That's it. Instead of that, if some mother says Kutta, 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 the kid will ask. There is a joke. Somebody asked, what is your father's name? No? Somebody asked, what is your name? Then he said, no Pradeep. Eh? Why no Pradeep? Yeah, everybody keep on telling me no Pradeep. Therefore he thought his name itself is no Pradeep. So the parents will keep on saying no, 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 no. So he thought no is the name. Prefix. Understood? So what is being called and repeated many times is what we think is our name. That's a problem. So your culture, your pattern, your knowledge, your actions, be in the good group to understand. The whole Bhagavad Gita will tell you how to have that jnanam where your action is not single. You are bounded by a lot of people around you. That boundedness is good for a good purpose. Bad purpose depends on whether you are having what Swabhavam. And that Swabhavam will be explained in later chapters. Swabhava Prabhavair Gunai. Swabhavam dictate what your thoughts will become. Rajasika, Tamasika, Sattvika Swabhavam. How do you get it? Even if you miss the track, what will happen? When can you join in the next station? Even if you miss the train, how do you reach the next station to catch the same train? Everything will be explained in the subsequent chapters.
Thank you so much, sir. For the first time, I listened to such a talk, and I'm so grateful to you for introducing the great wisdom that is embedded in Bhagavad Gita.
And see, most of the people explains Bhagavad Gita as a dhyanam. Only bhakti. Krishna is great, Krishna is great, Krishna is great. As if Krishna is somebody else. No. Krishna is each one of us. Inside us, the Bhagavan, the godly nature in us is what is represented. So there is nothing different. It is only a textbook to understand how you purify yourself to become a good human being.
Yes. Thank you so much. Now I understand that you are a great guru in
Listen to the first two lectures. It's so well explained. First question, where is the answer? Second, how Ashochya, essence of Bhagavad Gita explained in earlier classes. Ashochya, don't be sad. That's one class. Don't be sad. That's one class. So first few lectures. There are many playlists. One of them is Sloka by Sloka. One of them is chapter by chapter. This class what we are doing, UNBG, United Nations under the Dilip Ji's initiative, what is done is UNBG Bhagavad Gita. That's another playlist. So those, if you sequentially learn the earlier, then you will know how did we do that. It is not that we are doing the whole Bhagavad Gita, picking up some slokas, keeping the dots, so that later we will, if time permits, we will connect it. Or even if doesn't permit, second chapter when you listen back now in the full sloka playlist, you will understand, oh, this is, I understood, because in between you understood. That's what it is. So we may take some 100 slokas in 20 days and finish. That's what we will do. Up to December, correct, Dilipji? December 25th or 26th?
26th, yeah.
Next Sunday we have, or?
Next Sunday we have?
Yeah. 19th.
Yeah.
So what I expect is probably you could always chant these slokas and then send it to me, so that we will put them together and then make it into a YouTube thing. So that some feedback, some encouragement, some feeling. Yeah, somebody learned it. Anybody? Balakrishnan is there, Harita is there, Seema Nair, Geeta, Anusha, Asha, Tanishka,
Sudhagar is here.
Sudhagarji is there. Yeah. Where is Sudhagarji? Under Vivekananda Kendra, Sudhagarji is there. Sudhagarji, namaste. Oh, Dilipji already know Sudhagarji, right?
Yeah, we know each other. So
We keep discussing, myself and Sudhagarji keeps discussing many things around what can be done, what karma we can do in our life, better karmas, not better karma. Karma is always better karma. Okay?
So I put a post link for Tuesday's event. It's a World Peace Festival. UN NGOs are part of it, and one of the under secretaries is going to speak from the UN. That's a separate link. So those who like to join, you can join through this link. And October 4th, we have a Guru Festival, our third annual program. And some other peace events are coming up. So those who are on Facebook, you get the message. Then I was thinking, should we need a Kerala Day celebration?
That is long time for
November
now.
1st.
November 1st. No, it's only September.
Okay, so we have enough time.
We have enough time. We could have.
So I want to let Sudhagarji know that we are going to make a global Hindu convention. Most probably that will be in November. The first time we are doing that. So we want to connect all the people that is necessary. So I talked to village yesterday. Tried to get a governor of Kerala in that event. So let us see. So seems like everything good.
Yeah.
So see you all on next Sunday at 7:30 India time.
19th.
19th, right? 19th Sunday. That's good.
Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.